Copenhagen Wolves will cause the biggest upset of the summer split, taking down H2K.
Yeah, well, definitely like slacking a bit, like losing to Copenhagen Wolves, that never happened.
Dropping games like that one at this point is really, it can be really bad more for your mental state than anything else.
Niels jumped on by Lulex. Does he have the damage condemn against the wall? Yes, he does. Niels is unstoppable.
If they stay like this, if they get nervous from this lose, because it's something that can affect you, we actually have a lot of chances because they didn't play properly.
Soaz is chasing Ryu back. This tower should be gone, and so is Yarnin. Goodbye.
슬럼프가 좀 온 것 같기도 하고 그 멘탈이 좀 많이 약해진 것 같기도 해서 슬럼프가 온 것 같긴 해요. 그래서 플레이오프 전에 최대한 다시 끌어올릴 생각이에요.
If we just win, I can say 2K at this point, we are second place for sure.
Yeah, no, we're not in a really good spot right now, but we're just gonna look to focus and try hard.
Gentlemen, and welcome to the final week of the European LCS Summer Split. The tension is palpable here in our studio in Berlin, Germany. As you can see, everybody is ready to go for our matchups today. Just waiting outside a couple of minutes ago to get ready to all the action there. The Copenhagen Wolves receiving some last-minute tactics, and they're shook before going into their game here today. And there's Cyanide, he'll be joining us a bit later. Look at that Finnish fashion with the shorts and the suit jacket. And Roccat setting up on stage as well at the Kochi Yamato. And actually, they have a birthday boy in their midst, as you can see there, Jankos. Hello, I'm Evie Shogsupporter, joined by Martin the Fish Olinga and Mitch Krepo Voorspoels as we follow the teams on our stage down the home stretch of the summer split. I am in fantastic company, and we're going to start by taking a look at the standings with just 10 games left before playoffs. Of course, at the top of the table, Fnatic still undefeated, and then Origen and H2K there, completing the top three. No surprises there.
Yeah, but the surprise is definitely going to come out the middle of the pack. Who is going to make it to playoff? Who's going to choke? Who's going to take their one chance, their one opportunity? Yeah. So many options, so many potential tiebreakers, but we'll get to that later.
I see what you did there. And it's not only important for teams to make it to playoffs, but also in what ranking they make it to playoffs. That determines their seeding. And the name of the game is try and avoid Fnatic for as long as possible.
Yeah, for a lot of teams at least. As you can see, Fnatic already in the semi-final. H2K Origen fighting later for that second bye as well in the semi-final, also avoiding Fnatic. And then obviously, as we see here, number 4 and 5 will face each other. Winner of that quarterfinal takes on Fnatic, so that's obviously the tricky one. And then our 3rd and 6th seed here. So a lot of things still to be decided. Game of the week is going to be super important though for who gets that bye spot between H2K and Origen.
Yeah, a lot left to be decided, and on top of all the playoff pressure, also in recent weeks we've seen the meta game shift with the last couple of patches, changing of the landscape of competitive play heading into the postseason. So we wanted to look at a couple of things. So starting with the top lane, Ryze and Rumble on combined 95% pick ban rate on 5.13, 6 picks, 13 bans in the last 10 games.
Yeah, very, very high pick and ban rate for both these magic damage top lane champions that can pack a punch. And honestly, not much is going to change for this today.
No, it's going to be the same. And another magic damage champion we've seen more and more is Nidalee in the jungle, which is now the most banned jungler. The Runeglaive buff really benefited her. Fantastic early game. And again, she enables some more physical damage dealers on your team, which we see a lot of in the mid lane.
Yeah, especially in mid lane coming out right now. You have Varus, you have Jace. Those are like the 2 poke champions that spring to mind when you talk about all this magic damage. But some teams right now, they're opting for a more control-heavy style, especially over in Asia. We see this pick a lot. That's Victor. But yeah, the name of the game still is Sivir.
Yeah, Sivir, you called it in the beginning of the split. Why aren't the European teams going for that much? But now pick and ban rates through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, last week banned all 10 games. Last 30 games she's been picked up banned in 29. So she's a super strong pick in Europe. Some other regions seem to not favor as much as we do here in Europe, and we're just gonna have to see once we get closer to Worlds, you know, what's that gonna impact?
It's Worlds.
And as a it's Worlds. And as a disappointed, disappointed Bard enthusiast, we have now another chance. Tahm Kench can be played this week. The new support comes out, can go full on nom nom mode on everybody else. This is honestly hoping that it becomes a thing. If not, teams can always resort back to that Shen pick we saw occasionally too. But this is Tahm Kench. You get found, you get eaten, and then nothing happens. Kind of lackluster in my opinion.
Yeah, this is what you do basically, and the problem for him is you gotta decide if you want to play aggressive or defensive. You can't really do both of it at the same time. I think maybe as a top laner we could see him. He's very strong in like melee matchups because he's so insanely tanky and the percent damage on the W, but not expecting him as a support.
Yeah, well, Shen support is definitely a thing here. We've seen it in Europe and NA a bunch of times. We'll see if Tahm Kench comes out in the games here today. And in just a few minutes, the Copenhagen Wolves face Roccat. We'll see if they decide to go for that support pick. Then UOL versus Giants for that playoff spot. So important. What's your favorite match of the day, Tafisha?
I said it earlier when we look at the playoff bracket here, the match of the week, or sorry, game of the week, of course, Origen and H2K. This is so important. If Origen wins, they have that #2 spot locked in. H2K need to beat them to be able to tie them later, and obviously we can have so many tiebreakers coming. We're going to have to see what happens, but I'm sure both teams will be very, very ready for this match.
Yeah, H2K OG Game of the Week. And for more on that Game of the Week, load up lolesports.com to read about H2K's Lulex, who we spoke to about his performance in the past couple of weeks. And while talking about junglers, later today we'll be joined by former Fnatic jungler and Season 1 world champion, hold on to that, Lauri Cyanide Happonen. So get on Twitter and share your questions for the old pro with the hashtag AskCyanide. Just remember to tweet at LOLesports so we can talk over your answers with him later on the desk here today. And now for a look at our very first matchup of the day, we're going to